Hey guys, so today for this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make these really cute crochet plushy peas in a pod. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make the 2 peas in a pod, or you can also make 3 peas in a pod as well. For this tutorial, you're going to need 2 types of yarn, a light green and a dark green. This is the kind that I use. You're going to need a crochet hook, a stitch marker, safety eyes and safety mouths, which are optional. You can always stitch them in if you'd like. And some polyfill. So to get started, you're going to make your magic ring. This is how I do mine. And then in the magic ring, you're going to put 8 single crochets. Then you're going to pull this tight, see if it cooperates. So that's going to be how you start, is 8 single crochets in your magic ring. And then for your next round, you're going to do an increase in each of these. So you should end up with 16 stitches. So an increase, we're going to go into each of these single crochets that we made, and then just put 2 single crochets in each of them. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and so on. And 8. So now you should have 16 stitches all around, and at this point I'm going to take my stitch marker and put it into the last single crochet that we did, and then we'll go from there. So after you place your stitch marker, we're going to start increasing a little bit more. So for the next round, you're going to do 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch, 1 increase. And then we're just going to repeat that all the way around. So we're going to go 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and so on. And then once you reach your stitch marker, you should have landed on an increase. So I'm going to go ahead and increase right here. And then replace my stitch marker. Like so. For the next round, we're going to do something pretty similar. We're going to do 2 single crochets and then an increase. So you're going to repeat that all around. So it's going to be single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, all the way around. So I'm going to do that real fast. So I've now reached back to my stitch marker, and once again, you should have landed on an increase. So I'm going to take this out and then do an increase, and then replace my stitch marker. Like so. And now we've landed on the last round of where we're going to be increasing the size. So we're going to do, again, something similar. It's going to be 3 single crochets and then an increase. So 1, 2, 3 single crochets, increase, 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, and so on all the way around. Like this, 1, 2, and then 3, and then an increase. I'm going to finish up this round, and I will check back in a second. So you should once again land on where you're supposed to do an increase. So I'm going to go ahead and take my stitch marker out and do my last increase. Like so. And then what you're going to do is place your stitch marker again into your most recent stitch. And then we're going to start to create how it like curves up to create the shape of the pea. So you're going to just do 3 rounds of single crochet all the way around. So once you've passed your stitch marker 3 times, or reach it for the 3rd time, you will know that you've done enough single crochets. So no increasing or anything like that. It's just going to be single crocheting all the way around 3 times. So at this point, I have reached 3 rows of single crochets, and your project should look about half of what your P is going to look like. So once you've done that, you can go ahead and take out your stitch marker, and then you're going to replace it into your newest single crochet. And then for the next round, we're going to basically be working backwards and doing the opposite of what we did before. So you're going to do 3 single crochets and then a decrease, and you're going to do that all the way around. So to show you what that's kind of going to look like, we're going to do 1, 2, and then 3, and then a decrease. I do mine by grabbing the back 2 stitches of 2 single crochets and then yarning over, pulling through. That's how I get my decrease. I'm just going to repeat that all the way around. So 1, 2, and then 3, and then a decrease. So kind of like before, once you end up back at your stitch marker, you should be landing on a decrease. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This will be my last decrease of the round. And then I'm going to go ahead and replace my stitch marker. And as you can see, it's kind of starting to take shape. And if it looks a little bit flat, that's okay, because once you stuff it, it will kind of stretch out and make more of a circular shape. And at this point, we're going to add the safety eyes and the mouth. And a good little tip that I learned just from other crochet tutorials is to take a lighter and melt the back of your safety eyes. So this will ensure that the backings don't come off, especially if you're giving these to like kids. This will make sure that these eyes don't fall out if they play with them, because I have heard that that can be a problem. So you just melt the back with the lighter till it starts to like bubble, and then just press it with the back of the lighter. That makes it like flat, if you can kind of see, if my camera would focus, so that the backing can't come off. And there we go. And now we're going to continue our decreasing rounds. So what you're going to do for the next one is once again work backwards. So we started with 3 single crochets and then a decrease. So now we're going to go to 2 single crochets and then a decrease. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and then decrease, and then just continue that all the way around. So once again, I've landed at my stitch mark on a decrease, so I'm going to go ahead and take my stitch marker out and do my last decrease. That'd be nice if my hook didn't slip. And then I'm going to replace my stitch marker. And then for the next round, we're going to once again work backwards, and we're going to do 1 single crochet and then a decrease. So that's going to look a little something like this. 1 single crochet and a decrease, and then just repeat that all the way around. So 1 single crochet and then a decrease. So now I've returned back to my stitch marker, and we're not going to continue just yet. We're actually going to stuff this really quick, because the next round this is going to get really hard to stuff. So go ahead and grab your polyfill. We're going to go ahead and stuff. See what I meant by, I know it looked flat before, but once you stuff it, it'll start to take that spherical shape. You don't want to stuff it too much just yet, because you are still going to have to work some stitches in, and it can be a little tricky if it's too stuffed, but you want to get most of the stuffing into there. So next we're going to take our stitch marker out, and you can just go ahead and put it into your most recent stitch. And you're just going to do decreases all the way around until you get back to your stitch marker. So now back at my stitch marker, I'm going to stuff the rest because there is still some parts that need a bit more stuffing. So I'm going to do that real fast. And it seems to be good now. So I'm going to go ahead and take my stitch marker out. And now you can go ahead and close up your project however you typically do. I know some people like to fasten off here and then use their tail string to kind of sew ends together. I usually like to decrease a couple more times and just pull through all three, so kind of like a slip stitch, and then just continue that till it's closed up. So I'm gonna grab one, and then two, and then maybe I'll like skip a stitch sometimes and just come over here and then just pull through all three, pull it real tight, and I'll do maybe one more over here, and that will close up the project. So once your project is all closed up, I usually like to chain one, and then I can't find scissors, so we're gonna use a nail clipper, pull it through, and pull this nice and tight. And the bottom of this is not really going to matter how it looks because it is going to be on the inside of the kind of like a case for the peas. So there's a little bump over here. It's no big deal. All right, so that is how to make the pea. And then you can go ahead and just repeat this all over again to get two. In this tutorial, I can actually also show you how to do it if you wanted to make 3 peas in a pod. The pattern for the outside, the dark green, will work for 3 as well. So I'm gonna go make another one of these, and then I will be back to show you how to make the outside. Okay, so I went ahead and made the other pea. So now we're going to get started on the outside layer. So I'm just gonna put these guys back here for now. I'm gonna go ahead and open up this yarn. And the way we're gonna do this, we're gonna take the color that is darker, that's gonna be for the outside, and start out with a slip knot. And then what you're gonna do here, this is what I meant by like you can use the same tutorial for if you wanted to do 3 peas in a pod. You're gonna chain until it's just about the length of these two together. So I'll kind of show you what I mean by that. So right here, this chain is about the length of the 2 peas. So like I said, if you were doing 3, you would just continue your chain until it was the length of the 3. So once it's like just about the length, you're gonna chain one more. Then you're gonna skip this first chain you made, go one over, and then just do a single crochet. And then you're going to single crochet into each of these chains until you reach the other end. So once you've reached all the way back to the other end, kind of like where your tail is, you're gonna go into this very first chain that we made, and you're gonna do 3 single crochets. This is gonna give it that like rounded effect. 2, and then 3, all into the same stitch. And then you can also take this tail and just start working around it while you go back around. So we worked from here up, and then we did 3 single crochets. Now we're gonna work our way back down the other way. So you're gonna do the same thing. You're just gonna do single crochets into each of these chains. And as you can see, I'm going to be working this tail yarn in. And also when you're doing this, you should only be picking up one loop because it is the other half of the chain that you already did work into. So I'm just going to continue on down, just doing single crochets. So we have reached back to the top, and what we're going to do is kind of similar to before. We're going to go into this next stitch. You're going to do 3 single crochets, once again to give it that rounded effect. And then same thing again, we're just going to go single crochets all the way back around. Alright, so we've made it back around once again, so you're going to do the same thing again. Once you reach this corner, you're just going to go into the middlemost stitch and do 3 single crochets. Like so. And then once again, you're just going to single crochet until you make it back to the other side. So now that we're once again back at the top, we're going to do one more time, go through this middle stitch and do 3 single crochets into there. As you can see, it's kind of creating like a bowl effect of where the peas will go into. So now what you're going to do is just continue single crocheting around until it's big enough for your piece to fit. I like to stop and test it out every once in a while to make sure that it's fitting well. As it gets bigger, it will stretch more, so they'll be able to fit. But as you single crochet, it will kind of build up, so they'll be able to fit in pretty well. So I'm just going to do that, single crochet all the way around. Just keep going and going until it's big enough, and then I'll come check back when it's done. So after single crocheting all around, you should end up with something like this. And I know it looks small for the 2 peas, but they will fit. As you can see, it's good that it's a little bit tight because this will help them stay in really well. Something like this. So what you're going to do to get the little bumps on the sides, I'm going to just take these out just so it's a little bit easier to see. You're going to continue your single crochet until you get to the, like, back to the corner area. And if you fold it in half, this will tell you exactly where it is. So you want to just get right back to the corner, and then what you're going to do is chain 3 and then single crochet into the next spot, and this will give you that little bump. And then you're going to repeat this just by single crocheting all down here and then repeating the same step over here. So once again, we're back over to this other end. I'm going to chain 3 and then just single crochet into the next spot. So now you'll have the 2 bumps. And then what I like to do to finish this off is do another single crochet and then a slip stitch. Single crochet one more time, and then that's when you're going to snip your yarn. Pull that through, pull it nice and tight, And then you can weave this end in. And you can just tuck it in there because the peas will cover it up anyway. So this is how it turns out. And these are just so cute. They sell really well at markets. They make really good gifts. People really love them. And they're just adorable. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. If you liked it, leave a comment and let me know how it turned out for you. Consider subscribing and leaving a like. Bye.